Hi, and welcome to Geno's Picks. Bad news, not in the studio. Great news, 9-3 the past three times we've done it from here at Shea Geno. So let's get right to it. Studio last week, hilarious video, 1-3, not so good results. We are 25-27 on the year. You can't wait to get to the picks. They're firing Norv. We'll do a joke about him, so we won't do it. Grinds my gears. Keep following the podcast. Hopefully you listen to me on Nick and Artie this week. Let's get right to it, okay? And of course, computer, so I may look down. People, my first pick, the Colts are giving 5.5 to the Titans in Indy. People, the Andrew Luck train just keeps on chugging, am I right? Just last week, when the degenerate gambling fan in all of us was celebrating Andrew Luck and his backdoor cover, Andrew Luck awoken the passionate, innocent football fan in us with his last-second comeback, scoring on the final play of the game to win it. So the question is, how can you not just love this kid, but also love the entire story that is going on in Indy between him and his coach Chuck Pagano, who, after beginning chemo treatments in week 4, just this week announced that it has been entirely removed. It's in remission. It's gone into remission. Isn't that amazing? And I'll tell you something, that's got to be a great feeling in the Indy clubhouse. Unlike the situation for Chuck's brother John Pagano in San Diego, where it is finally rumored nearly 6 embarrassing seasons and 1 completely ruined San Diego Chargers team later, that Norv Turner will be fired, which is why I love the Colts this week. Not only because of the amazing talent that Andrew Luck is, but also due to his amazing coach Chuck Pagano, who, unlike his brother John in San Diego, only needed half a season to get the cancer out of his system. People, take the Colts in this one. Lay the 5.5. All right. My next pick, people, as you blur back in. The Arizona Cardinals are getting 10 from the Seahawks in Seattle. All right, people, Seattle has been seemingly amazing at home this season in going 5-0, but 2 of those wins, one came in week 3, one came via the courtesy crappy replacement ref's call, and the other one came on a blown coverage against the Patriots. So maybe the stat we shouldn't be looking at is games played in Seattle at CenturyLink Field as much as games played in the NFC West. Because, are you ready for this? The Seahawks record in divisional games is 0-3, people. They lost to the Rams 19-13 in week 4, coming down from that stolen win against the Packers. They stumbled out of the game. They couldn't score a touchdown against San Francisco. And get this, they stumbled coming out of the gate in week 1 against these very Cards when wide receiver, formerly known as Seattle Seahawk Braylon Edwards, let a touchdown slip right through his hands on an extra play the replacement refs were generous enough to give Seattle. Yeah, Braylon is finally gone now, people, and I'm only surprised that it took so long, as he lasted less and less time with every team after he left Cleveland. 2 seasons for the Jets. Then he went last year to, San Fran, where he had 15 receptions in 9 games. He was injury-plagued. He was troubled off the field. He's an idiot. And this season, you ready for this, people? He caught 8 passes for 1 touchdown and 74 yards. And I'm telling you right now, Braylon Edwards is done in the NFL, because every owner now knows signing Braylon Edwards in the offseason is like a college girl getting a tramp stamp. It seems like a great idea at the time, but 6 months later, you're wishing that ink would just disappear, people. Oh, and here's something else that concerns me about Seattle. After every big win, they do something stupid to distract them and inflate their stupid self-image. I'll tell you, after that loss against Green Bay, it should have been a lost victory against Green Bay. Carroll's sitting there saying Tate caught the ball. He didn't. And this week, cornerback Richard Sherman came out saying Russell Wilson is better than Andrew Luck and RG3. Wow, looks like somebody needs to go back on their Adderall and study. The Seahawks are winless in the NFC West, and you're telling me I'm supposed to take them and lay 10? I am not, people. I'm taking the Cards, starter John Skelton, and I am taking the 10 points they're giving me. All right, next pick. The Giants are giving 4.5 to the Saints in New York. Well, Jersey, of course. People, I love Drew Brees. And as a diehard Charger fan, if it weren't for a man, number 12, named Stan Humphries, Brees would be my favorite QB ever. But as good as he has made the New Orleans passing attack, this is how much Joe Vitt and the Saints have made the New Orleans rushing attack an afterthought. Did you know that no Saints running back has had a 100-yard rushing game this season? And did you also know that not a single New Orleans running back has more than 3 rushing TDs? And in today's NFL, people, we all agree, I'm sure, that no matter how good you are at the quarterback position, without a balanced attack, you're going to find yourself struggling like New Orleans and unable to finish out games. Look at the aforementioned Colts. Even when Dominic Brown went down, they filled in with Vic Ballard, and that rookie has been doing an incredible job. The Saints have not. That's why they're 5-7, and they've been unable to beat any quality teams outside of their division, people. You know why? Because you can't do it with a carousel of running backs. A black man in that situation has more trouble finding any rhythm in a football game than a white man does finding any rhythm in a nightclub. And let me tell you, neither one of those dudes are going to be dancing around for very long. People, once the Saints fall behind, the nickel package will spell doom for them. Something I'm sure most of the G-men that are in that nickel package cannot spell themselves, people. Take the G-men in this one. Lay the 4.5. Which brings me to my double your money Monday night better, as I like to call it. Finally missed one last week. Right back on the horse. Patriots are giving 3.5 to the Texans in New England. Let's go over the constants of what goes on each month during the NFL season. What do we have? Thanksgiving is in late November. Christmas is in late December. And New England is in late January every year. There's a reason for that. They're simply the best coached team in football. And while every AFC team that constantly makes the playoffs is tied to one player, like Arian Foster of the Texans, Roethlisberger of the Steelers, Rice of the Ravens, Tom Brady stars as a Patriot with a rotating cast of players that changes not only from season to season, but from week to week. Look at the running back position, people. Look at how they rotate receivers. Is Deion Branch there again? Wow, people. Let's face it. Patriots are the NFL's version of CSI. No matter who they stick on that show with the big star, it's going to do well. And I'll tell you, suddenly I'm supposed to be afraid of the Texans and J.J. Watt, a.k.a. J.J. SWAT, because of all the passes they're taught to knock down. Look, I love what Wade Phillips has done with that defense, but please, when you are as talented and, more importantly, as good-looking as Tom Brady, who's gotten hotties like Bridget Moynihan, and now his wife Giselle, congrats Tom, Giselle Bunch of Brady pregnant, you roll out of bed prepared to have people going right at your balls. And you fuck it, the joke is you instinctively learn to avoid them. If you think that joke was screwed up, go the other way, people. But I'm telling you, show some balls of your own here. Take the Pats, lay the 3.5 as Geno stumbles to the end of his Week 14 picks. Thanks, guys.